Hello and welcome to Stereotypical, the podcast about music and the people that make it. My name is Liam McGrath. I am, as always, joined by Mr. Jack O'Neill.
I am Legs O'Neill today, as you can see.
Long Legs O'Neill and Long Legs McGrath, to be fair.
You are Long Legs.
In a somewhat interesting location for anyone watching the video version.
I don't think you should say.
If you're not telling where we are.
No.
But it's musically significant.
There's your clue. Try your best.
I mean, there's a big bridge there that you might recognise.
Ignore the bridge.
And if you're
Focal
from
point right here.
anywhere,
Cameraman, zoom in.
If you're from anywhere, there is no.
Well,
Paul.
You ruined. That's the 4-4 break right there. Tell them there's no cameraman.
Well, I mean, I don't know if they would expect it to be a cameraman because we used you often used to throw to Paul when Paul was doing the camera.
I do miss Paul.
I miss Paul, now I have to do it all.
That's a topic for another time, I'd say.
Yeah, but it's just a phantom cameraman
Paulinho,
now.
95
So you really don't want to tell them where we are?
I don't think you have to. Could be a good little shtick.
Well, that was one of my things I thought we could talk about because it is musically historical.
You can kind of want.
Can you remember why? Like,
Yeah.
you remember the specifics?
From what you said last week. So we came last week.
Just
and
to
we
eat
had lunch.
Yeah.
We had lunch.
It wasn't this. Oh no, it probably was this windy then.
And I asked why, because people obviously talk about it quite a bit. Do they talk about it quite a bit? I'd say so.
Yeah.
I'd say it gets brought up. And people say, it's a nice place. It's got, like you say, musically historical factors.
Yeah.
And I was like, why? I don't get it. I don't understand why it's such a big deal. Do I remember why? Apart from the gig.
Well, there's not really much apart from the gig.
Well, that's it then.
We're at Spike Island.
Well, there's that continuity record of a
we're
podcast
at Spike
ruined.
Island. But yeah, it's pretty much just the Stone Roses gig, musically anyway. 1990, I think.
No, before my time.
Yeah, before my time. Before your time. When are you?
96.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, you're not quite that old. You're not 33 yet.
No, not yet. Coming now, creeping.
But yeah, I was saying before, like, this actually, like, it kind of looks big on camera, but it doesn't actually look that big when you're here. And to say it was have you ever seen like pictures of the gig or anything?
Probably. I'm not really that bothered about it, to be fair, though. I don't see the cultural significance. So, it's just not for me, I guess.
Why do you... Because I've noticed this, right? Like, do you not really care about, like, musical history?
Well, we've had this conversation. I had this conversation with my dad, actually, the other day.
Right.
I was like, I had this thing when I was younger where I just, like, things before my time just didn't really interest me.
Yeah, you have said that to me
because it doesn't affect me. And then that's where you used to kick off. You're like, lad, we'd have nothing today if we didn't have any of this shit. Which is a fair point, but again, like, it's ignorance, innit?
Yeah, you are quite ignorant. Because, like, I've noticed...
Whoa!
There's a fucking goose over there.
But yeah, so, like, it doesn't really
It's a good
bother
job
me.
there's nobody here. Like, because we're already drawing enough attention to ourselves by being the only two podcasters in Witness, first of all, right? But then just podcasting in the middle of a field.
So yeah, it doesn't have any significance to me. Like, some things interest me, but I say it's like very like...
Because I've noticed a pattern, right? And I'm sure the viewers have noticed it too, right? We've all seen the clips.
I just don't care.
Have you, like, saying the Beatles suck?
Slagging off the
and,
Beatles.
Like, talking about how Coldplay is better than Bob Dylan and stuff. And I'm sure, like, I would like to know, and I'm sure all 43 of them would like to know, like, why do you not give a fuck about the culture?
It just doesn't have any significance for me. Like, I guess what the thing about people my age is that we grew up where things were kind of old school. Do you know what I mean? Like, the internet was kind of new when I was young.
Yeah.
And then throughout our, like, pre-teens and teenage phase, like, it got bigger and people were online more. So I guess we've kind of moved into the digital world and everything's kind of just been, like, handed to my generation.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, you don't really care about how or why or its significance because it is just there and readily available.
So do you think I'm an outlier in the fact that I, like, give a shit about
you're just more...
stuff before my time?
I think you're just more interested, which is fine, isn't it? Like, we've had this conversation before, like, well, a lot of things interest me that probably don't interest you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have a niche. Like, we was having this conversation, like, if people have seen Barbie, we was having this conversation like how he's like Beach Ken.
Right.
And if we had to be Kens, what Ken would you be?
I'm like music Ken.
Yeah, I'd be like existential dread Ken. That's what Ken I'd be.
That was a funny moment when we were talking about what Ken we'd be, and there was like a 5-second pause while you thought about it, and then the existential dread just like started to set in, where you were like,
Ken.
"Oh my god, I don't have a defining personality trait such that I would be whatever Ken."
Ex Ken, yeah.
Ex Ken, existential Ken.
Yeah, so that's what I've decided. But I threw that to a few people in work and stuff.
What, the Ken question?
The Ken question, yeah.
And do people tend to have a...
People have niches, yeah.
Right, yeah.
But when the people don't have niches, I can kind of... Then I question their personality. Then I'm like, if they're a bit of a... What is it, a wet squib?
A damp squib.
Damp squib.
Yeah, I don't really know what that means.
Squib.
A soaking squib.
Absolute dripping squib.
I don't really know what it means. I've heard the expression.
But then I'm like, oh, I hope I'm not like that to other people. But I don't think I am.
No. Because
traits.
like music is still very much your thing.
I'd say it's up there. I'd say
podcast Ken.
Podcast Ken. Nah.
Scream at
I'd be fucking
geese Ken. I was gonna say.
But that's why talking about music history.
Right.
Some things interest me. Like, like when we're on about, what's the guy called? The Beatles fella? The manager.
Brian Epstein.
Oh, was he the manager? Who's the sound guy?
George Martin.
That's the guy. George R.R. Martin.
No, that's...
Game of Thrones. Is that him?
Yeah.
The Beatles ruling Westeros. mixing 4 tracks together. Do you know what I mean? That's cute that they layered tracks together when they didn't have multi-tracks.
Yeah.
Like 4 onto 1 and then use the next 3 to put that onto 4.
Yeah.
Like we were saying, like recording with like your inserts on, you know what I mean? Like having that like
right
definability. Like this is it. Well, that's good.
So recently I've been watching like clips of this show.
Our show?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Because I basically... Yeah, because I just love it. I realised basically that like YouTube Shorts is a thing and we never posted any. So I was going back and finding all the TikTok clips to post on YouTube Shorts like daily or whatever. And
you came up on my For You page twice yesterday.
Me or us?
You.
Oh right, I've been active. I've been out here
ranking
like travel spots. You should check out my YouTube channel if you haven't already.
Questionable camera angle. I'll give you that much.
Why?
It's just very close, isn't it?
Well,
I couldn't figure out where you were standing.
But yeah, no, I'll tell you what the situation is there. Is obviously you film it like that because they're taken from a YouTube video that's longer, that's filmed this way.
Right,
so it happens with the podcast sometimes because when I have to crop it to be vertical for TikTok, like that, we fill up the whole frame. Anyway, so I've been watching these clips and stuff, and
you can find said clips on
this YouTube channel if you're watching the video version, and if you're not watching the video version, we are at Stereotypical Pod on YouTube. But I posted the Beatles clip.
Okay, of course you did.
From the Barcelona pod of you talking about how you don't care.
Right.
About, technological advancements and stuff. And it is just crazy that, like, you don't care. So you're saying now, oh, it's cool that they did the multi-tracking thing. But back then you were like, it doesn't matter if they did it first, it doesn't make them good.
No, my argument was people say it's good because they were the first to do it. And it's like that in everything, isn't it? Neil Armstrong. Know what I mean?
You fucking use that example then as well.
That sort of thing. The Wright brothers flying a plane. If they didn't do it, someone else would do it. And fair play, they did it first. They deserve the what's the word?
Was it the Wright brothers the first ones to fly a plane?
No, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they.
When I think of the Wright brothers, I think of that like old black and white footage of a plane that's got like just wings upon wings. You know that where it's like
I think it did
3 stories worth of wings. I think it did have
3 layers. Yeah.
Oh right, okay. This goose is like heading our way.
Maybe heard me mates in call before.
I'm low-key scared.
Did I say the Wainwright brothers? Then there's
the Wright brothers.
The Wright brothers. Who are the Wainwright brothers? Who are they?
I don't know.
Then we'll Google them and put a picture up.
Okay.
And then there's Amelia.
More work for me to do.
Amelia Earhart. She was a woman that flew across the Atlantic, is it, or America, something like that?
I don't. No, maybe she did the round the world thing. This goose is getting fucking close, bro. Can you go scare it off?
No, because it's gonna. You go and scare it off.
Yeah, but I'm afraid of it. Oh, it's just sitting down. We'll see if it gets any closer. Maybe
see that fella's intimidation
at
its finest.
Goose whisperer. You know what we haven't talked about on the podcast actually?
What?
Because I don't know if I assume we haven't.
That was aggressive. I apologise.
I was going to say I'm assuming we haven't shot one since we went, even though it was time ago. We went to London
Yep.
to see the 1975
Together as well.
at Finsbury Park. We went down there together.
Yep.
We went to the gig together.
Yeah, I look ecstatic, don't I?
I came to your I slept in your hotel room.
That bit is true.
I snuck in the dark now. Yeah, what were your thoughts on the gig, man?
I think it was crazy good sound.
You know what? I was thinking about that the other day. It was crazy good sound.
Like, I don't know why. I can't figure it out. But obviously they're good at what they do. Anyway,
Yeah.
well, you know, subjective. I know a lot of people don't
Yeah,
like
yeah.
1975. But, like, even the bands before it, I was like, the sound is good.
Yeah, well,
The sound is clear.
like I remember seeing the 75 early 2020, right? And I was like, this is the best sound. It was in Arena, Liverpool.
Right.
I was like, this is the best live sound I've heard. And then I saw him at the start of the year, same place, and I was like, oh, it's not as good this time. So I was a bit like, oh, what's it gonna be like an outdoor show? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because there's a lot of factors. We were talking about this when we were there, like how would you account for the wind? Because that's one thing about this gig, right?
Yeah.
Like the Spike Island gig in 1990 or whatever it was like heralded as this, like, oh, it was a generation defining thing. But anyone who actually came was like, oh yeah, it was sick, but also like as a gig, it was fucking shit.
Yeah.
Because as
Sounded
you might
whack.
get a bit of like wind on the mic now because the river's like right there. There was a fucking huge just gust blowing in off the Mersey that was blowing the sound around loads. So live sound is a fucking challenge.
I was thinking, yeah, because we were talking about like calculations and proper nerdy shit, weren't we? And like how they're gonna
Yeah.
like, because obviously sound goes everywhere
Yeah, it's literally blown by
because it's
the
just like
wind.
fucking molecules through. Oh, it's air
It's like-
through
it's just-
molecules,
It's
isn't it?
like the vibration of
Yeah, and it passes through like a wave,
particles.
sound wave. Yeah, that sort of
Yeah.
thing. So how do they factor in how much wind there's going to be and how that would move sound around?
I don't know if you can factor for the wind. You can factor for distance in terms of like how far back you are from the stage,
Yeah,
which is
'cause they
why
have to
they had the
have their delays,
delays.
don't
Yeah. Because you do that in theatre. Like we have delays at the back of the theatre.
Yeah.
That are like calculated so that it's in phase with the
Bass clap.
with what
Bass
with the
clap.
actual like sound of the drums or whatever.
Like something I was thinking about as well is crossovers, right? Like crossovers
Right.
blow my mind.
This is nerdy shit. What crossovers is in like where you determine what
As in
frequencies go to what
Allen
speaker.
Iverson, left to right, stank step, gone. No, yeah, as in like, you know, like in theatres where like you filter the highs and the lows to separate speakers.
Yeah.
Like that is code, man.
It
Code
is.
does that.
Yeah, and what's
Zeros and ones will figure out what sound
what's
goes
crazy?
where.
Like this is
I don't
super
like it,
super nerdy shit, right?
That's like
But like
Infinity Ultron.
where I work in a live sound theatre.
Theatre.
Our sound designer Kate will sometimes she'll send different parts of sound effects
To separate levels.
to separate like at separate levels to separate. So like she's like, okay, this needs to be more subby. So she's doing the crossover on the computer of like, okay, this needs to go more to the subs than the tops. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
But that's not. I don't think that's as crazy because she's just sending it. She's fadering it out. You know what I mean? But like I just feel like something goes to a box
Yeah.
and that box does all this magic and sends it out. Sends physical, auditory, sensory information.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is mad when you think about it, isn't it? Because like when you listen to digital music now, that's just notes and ones, and I don't understand that, and I make it.
Digital
You know what I
music.
mean? Yeah, like if you listen to fucking Spotify,
Oh right.
you're just listening to data essentially, aren't
Yeah.
you? Like there's nothing actually happening.
That's why I
Um,
think it'll be easier when they start getting like chips and stuff in your head
Right. Okay.
because you're just skipping out the go to Spotify to go through the earth to us. It's going Spotify straight into your brain.
Right.
It'll
Yeah.
come,
Yeah.
man. It'll come. Tony was right, you know.
But that's the thing is like, surely for that to work, like sound needs air to travel through. So like if it's inside your head,
Right.
how are you hearing it? Because it has to hit your eardrums.
But you could say the same sort of thing as
You'd have to like bypass the eardrum on the inside.
like you know when you speak to yourself in your own head, and you can hear your own voice.
Right. Yeah.
Like how does that work?
That is crazy. I saw a thing a while ago that said you can change the voice in your head. Like, you can do like different voices, but you can't change the volume of it, which is
Wow.
quite crazy.
I always got taught in psychology that if you hear a voice in your head, that's schizophrenia.
Well, no, like if you it's if someone else is talking to you in your head, that's schizophrenia. But if
But you mean you can change what you're hearing?
if me and Sean are doing bits, like I can do an impression in my head and then like to test it before I do it out loud.
Oh yeah, I just did it like I was a bit scouse in my head then.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Accents in your mind.
Yeah. Anyway, so
But the point was, music-wise, like I don't know how that works.
the chip in the head thing, or the crossover,
Well, both.
or the live sound.
All of the above.
How
mate.
many levels deep are we?
Chip in the head. Speak to yourself in your own voice.
Well, I guess you don't know how the chip in the head thing works because it doesn't exist yet.
That's why I think people.
No one knows how it works.
People refer to like aliens and stuff like as magic, but to them it'll just be normal. Do you know what I mean?
To the aliens, it'd be normal.
Yeah, and to us it's like considered like magic if like the
Right?
aliens were
Yeah.
real and
It was
stuff.
just technological advancements, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
This is a conspiracy podcast.
Oh mate, my TikTok half the time is absolutely mental, batshit crazy.
This girl's looking at us for podcasting in a field.
So I'll get a dog over.
Yeah, get the dog in the podcast. Dogcast. Anyway.
Go on, what other?
Oh yeah. So
Quips have you got?
I was talking about
sorry.
1975, right?
75, good sound.
Great sound. I have to say, I think the sound for Bleachers was better though. That's the best I've heard Jack Antonoff sing ever.
Yeah. I was very surprised.
Their sound was crazy.
I was surprised at like how similar they sounded from the record.
Bleachers.
To live music, but I guess that's the recording setup that they had.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I just think it's mad that we saw Bleachers live. Like,
It's a bit mad.
because they're American and they don't come over very often. It's just not something that I would have.
That's racist.
It's just not something I expected to happen ever.
That lineup, I am gutted we got there a bit too late.
I know.
'Cause I would
Japanese house would have been
I would
good.
like to see the Jap house.
Who was? Oh, Cigarettes After Sex. I did not really rate.
I was on my own for cigarettes after sex. You went to the toilet and then they went for food.
Oh yeah, I was stood in.
I was just
I was stood in a queue.
4 cans.
Stood in a queue
Nice.
for the best chicken wrap I have ever eaten.
Wow.
I don't know if it's because like chicken's good in London.
I don't know if it's because the chicken in London is good.
Well, you get a lot of Caribbean food. It was like a Caribbean chicken, like barbecued chicken place, like stall,
Yeah, stalls.
and it
food
was
stalls.
honestly fucking unbelievable. I was stood in the queue, listening to Cigarettes After Sex, and thought, fucking hell, like this rap better be good because I want to talk
The
myself
sound
in
was
a
good for
minute.
cigarettes after sex. I do think a lot of the songs sound very similar.
Oh yeah, it's so
they
samey.
do what they do very well, but
Yeah,
they only
yeah.
do one thing.
Yeah.
Which is fair play
That's
to them.
fair. Yeah, I also would have liked to have seen American football, but
Who's the other people?
American football.
No, there was someone else.
Oh, I don't know. No one I'd heard of.
Who's the math rock guys?
That's American football.
Oh, right.
Yeah. That would have been cool.
Joe likes the other people. I just can't think of what they're called.
Yeah, I think they were like, announced a bit later because originally it was just American football, Japanese house,
Bleachers.
Bleachers, Cigarettes After Sex, 75.
Cigarettes. What a crazy lineup, man.
That is a crazy lineup.
Like, when I seen it,
It
I was
is a
like,
shame
that's
we didn't get there
naughty,
early.
that.
Yeah, but still, it was a big occasion. Like 50,000 people. That's
Yeah,
probably the
someone
biggest
watching,
headline
like-
show they've ever done, probably
Reckon.
in this country.
Oh, right. Because someone who I work with went to London like 3 days after me and watched someone else at Finsbury Park.
Yeah, well, they do it in the summer. They have that stage there,
All right.
and like various people play.
Was
You know what I
like,
mean?
someone like
Various people
Travis
put a
Scott
thing
or like
on.
Jay Huss or someone.
Oh, because it's where they have Wireless. So Wireless was the weekend after, I think.
Oh, right.
Riff for a minute while I drink.
Riff for a minute while we drink. Yes, the 75 was good sound. I did think the set list was short. And
You think?
I think so, yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
Like, they played for like 2 hours?
I know, I just feel like when I see pictures of the set list from like this at their very best show.
Yeah.
Like it's always like album and then like old stuff, do you know what I mean? Interval in the middle.
Uh-huh.
Like I don't know if I was just like too much in the moment. I just kind of it didn't run like that though.
No, they didn't do the at the very best thing of playing the full new album and
Yeah.
then doing because they've sort of done that. a
But I
bit.
think there was
No.
running. Yeah, but what do you mean they've done it? That's the tour, innit?
Yeah, no, but that
That's
was
what
that was
I'm
like
going
the
to
first leg
expect.
of the tour.
And I can't say, oh,
Look at
we've
this-
done it.
Look at this kid here. What a G. Look how he's walking, man. That's so funny.
Like they can't do that like that. If they get bored of it, yeah. But like that's what people are going to pay for. Do you know what I mean? To pay to see.
Yeah. And they still did some of this. There's a lot of flies, isn't there? They still did some of the shit from
A
the
field, mate.
from the first like original tour. Like he ate raw meat
Right, okay.
and climbed through the TV and stuff.
Wow.
He brought his dad out.
Yeah.
That was sick.
Tim.
I enjoyed that.
I was lost when I listened to
you were
Tim.
lost for that.
Yeah, went to the toilet and came back, couldn't find anyone, so I just stayed where I was listening to
Yeah,
Tim.
you were a bit drunk, weren't you?
I was 4 people down. I couldn't believe it.
I know, you were so
It's because
close.
I was looking like people ahead. Oh, probably shouldn't do that. Probably looking like people ahead to see where you were.
Right,
Because you're
yeah.
dead tall.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I was getting lost, because you was literally like over there.
Right. Yeah. I've just realised. Are we the wrong way round?
No. I'm always beside of you. I'm always looking that
Okay.
way.
Yeah. No, it's just okay. It's the camera. Yeah, but it was a sick day though.
Good day.
Really good day.
Long drive.
It was cool to be. Yeah, I feel bad for you, but thank you for doing it.
Sorry.
I did give you a shout out in the vlog, but you've probably not watched. But that's fine.
I'll wait for it to get to TikTok, to the algorithm.
Yeah, the day after was cool as well. It was cool to be in London. I've not been to London in like time.
Yeah,
Years.
we went the August before to watch Coldplay at Wembley.
Yeah.
That was good. I was a bit too close, I think. Because every time I usually go and watch Coldplay, because they are one of the best bands in the world
Yeah.
ever.
Better than Bob Dylan. You heard it here second. Carry on.
Like, I always used to go, like, Barrier.
Yeah.
And I went there this time. And when we was queuing up, 1 second. When we was queuing up, I was like, oh, maybe we should go to, like, you know, the mid side of, like, the centre stage. You can get, like, a bigger experience. And I thought, oh, fuck it, no. I'm getting for it.
Yeah, I was lucky when we went in
Some woman was kicking off
July. Just got why?
because she was, like, in front of me.
Yeah.
And, like, she got up to get a drink.
And you moved forward.
No, I didn't do anything. She just looked at me and she went, don't you dare. Don't you dare. I said, oh, Karen, what's going on here? Like, I'm got a good spec myself, love.
We come in. We saw him at the Etihad, which that was maybe the best sound. That just pipped the 75 and Bleachers. That was maybe the best sound I've ever heard live. But we come in the entrance like next to the stage.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Straight
like, imagine
inwards.
if the stage is there, we came in that corner. So we were already like right near the front, and it wasn't like packed.
Yeah,
People
that's
weren't
good,
ramming
isn't it? How
around
they have,
that
like, the
bit.
separate gates and you have to queue up at a certain, like, turnstile. That's good.
Yeah, because when we went to see Arctic Monkeys the night before at Old Trafford Cricket Ground, it was like it was when they did the gig here, when the stage was there, and everyone filtered in from one entrance there.
Right.
So, like, if you got there later on, it's a goose in frame.
The goose has moved.
If you
Is
got...
Maybe.
Maybe you're in the way. If you got there later on, you were at the back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that
Well,
was...
that's your own fault, innit, for getting there too late.
Yeah, but...
People expect different things out of gigs, which is fine.
Yeah, definitely. And I wasn't...
You can't sit down for a Coldplay gig, though.
No, definitely not. I wasn't expecting to be at the front for Arctic Monkeys, but I just underestimated how far away, because it's an oval in it, it's a cricket ground, like how far away not at the front was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I was lucky because I'm tall, so I could see Alex Turner. He was tiny. He was like this big, teeny tiny Alex Turner in the distance. But
Teeny tiny Alex Turner.
I had to keep reminding myself though, like I'd be looking at the screen obviously because it was easier to see, but then I'm like, but they're right there. You know what I mean? Like I've spent the past 10 years looking at Alex Turner on a screen, like on YouTube or whatever, and I was like, but he's there,
Right.
They're right there.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I like the screens. I feel like I'll watch a lot of the screens at the 75. I have this thing about with football, though. Like, watching the football IRL, like, experience-wise is better, but the view is shit.
Yeah.
Formula 1, watching live is, the experience, the atmosphere, like, the whole ambiance is good. But it'd be well better watching it on TV, because you can see everything.
Yeah, I would, especially Formula 1, because you only sit in one bit, don't you?
Yeah, but I think it's the same, like, with, like, a...
Done for the next lap.
That's a sport, mate, yeah.
Crazy.
But yeah, so I think like the screens are very good at gigs. I like the screens. Good
Yeah,
invention.
I got an eye roll off my friends when we went to see Arctic Monkeys because I did the thing of we got drinks and we stood just chilling while the Hives were on. That was another one actually. I just a weird thing. I didn't think I'd ever see the Hives because I used to play Lego Rock Band and they had a song on it, so that was cool. But
My nephew the other day went watching like the Who or the Jam or someone, whoever it was, at the Saints ground.
I don't think I don't think he did.
He did.
The Who did not play the
He went
Saints
watching
ground.
someone mad. Who's the one with like the Target emblem?
That's the Who. What, like the mod symbol? Like the mod
Usually.
symbol. Yeah, that's the Who.
I'm sure he did.
You find that out and I'll riff. Yeah, I got an eye roll off my friends because we were stood there just chilling, and I was like, by the time artists come on, we need to move because the sound here is shit. Because I think we were like in a bit of a dead spot between two delay towers. And like they probably agreed, but they were just like, Liam, just have a day off. You know what I mean? Like stop being a sound.
Take a breath. I say that
nerd.
to you quite often.
Yeah, stop being a music guy. Was your hotel bougie when we went to the 1975? Yeah, that's not that's not the actual Who though.
Who is it, man?
Let me see that. That's not. The Who hits back with orchestra.
Who is that?
I don't think it's actually the Who.
Either way, that's crazy.
With
Isn't
special guest UB40, maybe it was the Who.
it? Yeah, you watch UB40 as well. It's 12.
Fuck off! It was the Who. At the Saints ground.
Yeah.
That's mad.
jokes is that?
That's a bit fucked up.
He just
That
came up to me and went, look at this.
I need to talk to my dad about that because my dad loves the Who. I feel like he would have known. My dad would have known. Surely, if that was happening. Yeah, was your hotel looked kind of bougie at the
My
75?
hotel, it was a Hilton to be fair, wasn't it?
Islington seemed like a nice ends as well.
Yeah, it was alright. Was it bougie? I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say it was bougie.
It was probably better than my Airbnb.
Like it was kind of like, I imagine like a square, and like everyone's windows was like looking internal.
oh
the other
right,
side
like in the
square.
middle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So it was alright. It was okay. They had decent facilities. Down the reception was like pretty posh.
Yeah.
And like the car park was like fucking underground where the hotel was at.
Oh, tell the people, tell the viewers,
Yeah.
how much
The parking would have been.
the parking would have been had you not have
I
got
can't remember how much it
hotel
would have
discount.
been. Would have been like 180 quid.
I don't think it was quite that much, but it was like 90 at least. You know what I mean? It was like 80 or 90 quid. What was it with discount? Like 25?
Like 20 quid. Yeah.
Still for overnight parking in like Liverpool, you'd pay like 15 quid, maybe at most like a fiver if you go to good places. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because you had to go to the desk, and you was like, I have parts underneath,
Yeah.
and you put your reg in like a iPad,
Right.
And then
So,
when-
quite a bougie hotel.
and then when you put your reg in the system, like it said, didn't it say like whatever, how much it was, 90 quid, whatever,
Yeah.
and then it went down, and I was like, imagine 90 quid for parking. It's a fucking holiday, that man.
It is. Did I show you
The world.
my Airbnb?
Yeah. But the kitchen was at the bottom of the bed.
Yeah. It wasn't bad, to be fair. It wasn't the worst place I've stayed.
It wasn't bad, it was just...
It wasn't the worst place I've stayed.
alright.
No, it was literally, for what I needed it for, it was sound. The bed was quite comfy. And there was kitchen amenities, which was nice, had I have wanted them.
A pot noodle.
Yeah, I had I went after the gig, so I walked home from the gig.
Right.
Because it was just one road, like straight half an hour down Seven Sisters Road. And there was a little shop nearby.
What was it called?
Like I kind of no idea. Shout out that shop on Seven Sisters Road. It was near the.
Like there's only one shop.
It was it was just near Seven Sisters train station, next to the Jehovah's Witness
Kingdom Hall.
Church, Kingdom Hall. Yeah. Are they all called that?
I assume so.
Right. Okay.
Okay, maybe I'm just being ignorant, but...
Well, that's what that one was called. I'd forgotten what it was called until you said that, but yeah.
What did you get from the shop, man?
Sorry, we stopped recording. I got a Mars milkshake.
That's heavy as fuck, that.
What?
Like, both, I don't know, literally and physically
What?
heavy.
What is?
A Mars milkshake.
Yeah, to be fair, I actually didn't end up drinking most of it that night. I drank the rest of it in the morning just because I looked on the back and saw how much sugar was in it. I was like, that's not good before you go to bed. Are we still good?
Yeah, just on bar 917.
And I also got like a little tub of porridge. You know, you just put like
Oh, yeah.
hot water in.
Quaker Oats.
But half the reason I tell you this is because I went in the shop and I was looking around and I grabbed my shit and I went to pay. And the guy said something to me and I was like, sorry, what was that? And he went, Oh, I really like your haircut.
Wow.
and,
Outrageous.
and I instantly thought of you because
If I was there,
my hair looks shit now because of the wind, right? But I don't think my hair's that bad. But you always say how fucking shit my hair is.
no, I don't.
You
I've not
do.
said your hair shit for a long time, but you've not changed your hairstyle for a long time.
It's just the audacity, man.
Well, you had
always
you
wear
had a
a hat.
quiff, didn't you?
Yeah.
You had a quiff, and then you had a fringe. That's a 180.
Oh, so we're going well back. High school, I had
Yeah,
the quiff.
and then you tried. I knew you were the quiff.
Oh, and maybe college I had a quiff as well.
And then you tried partying it one day, and that was a big mistake.
Right. Yeah, I remember
and then I can't remember when you actually partied it.
that. Lockdown, just because I couldn't. So I had a fringe at the start of lockdown, but then obviously it grew,
Yes.
so I had to start pushing it back, parting it to get it out my eyes, and then after lockdown I had it cut back into the fringe, but then was like I actually kind of prefer it the other way, so just started doing it the other way, and then I quiffed for a bit.
Yeah.
I did quiff again.
That's 3
But
years
then
ago.
decided that this was probably, but even now it's different to what it was because it's like longer on top.
Yeah, you don't dye it anymore.
And it's not bright orange.
Oh.
It's not like copper blonde.
Yeah, that guy must have been on some sort of drugs.
I was gonna say you would say he was
I
visually
would have pissed
impaired,
myself laughing.
a blind man. Really?
Yeah.
I could have just walked out and he wouldn't have noticed.
Anyway, the Airbnb. I think people overestimate hotels sometimes. Do you know what I mean? Like every now and again, when like me and Ellie talk about going somewhere, it's like you can either stay in like a nice resort, spend more money.
Are we talking abroad here?
Yeah, wherever I guess.
Right.
Wherever, yeah,
Right.
wherever. And but I'd expect to spend more time in the area, or you can just pay to put your head down somewhere, and then use said money you would have spent doing other things.
Yeah, that is a good point. I prefer Airbnbs.
See, I've
hotels.
never seen a really good Airbnb so far.
Oh mate, we've stayed in a couple of fucking good ones, man. I'll have to show you the one we stayed in Paris. But that was probably like maybe the second best one we've stayed in. But I like it because you've got the option. You can either get one that's just like that in London, just a room to put your head down in, or you can get one that's got like a proper kitchen and a fucking living room, so that if you want to be chilling it there, cooking your breakfast there and shit, you can do. You know what I mean?
feel like every time I've been looking to go somewhere, like I look on booking.com, I look on like Google, I look on Instagram, and I look on Airbnb.
It is more expensive sometimes to Airbnb.
But I just don't think I also think it's weird that you can stay somewhere and there can be someone else like just in the living room chilling.
Oh, if you just get like a room. Oh no, I'd never do that. No. It has to be
just
like a
entire flat, whole apartment to yourself.
Yeah. No, I couldn't, because I was thinking I might have had to do that in London because I sort of left it kind of late to book the Airbnb, and most places that weren't dead expensive were just like room in Janet's house. You know what I mean, in Tottenham or whatever. Like,
Jane has 3 dogs.
I don't really want to have
But
to
don't
stay
bring your
with a like I stayed in a B&B one time. Might have been last year in Skipton, up in Yorkshire.
Right.
Because basically, my mum and dad were staying in an Airbnb there.
They have like a banking association around Skipton.
I think it's like an insurance thing, maybe.
Oh right. Okay.
But so yeah, I went to just visit. Because it was my mum's birthday, I went to surprise them. So I was staying in a B&B down the road from where they were staying.
Was it in a pub?
It was, no, it weren't. It was just essentially like this woman who had like a big house.
All right.
And she would B&B the rooms out. And she'd give you fucking breakfast and stuff in the morning. But it was just weird, man.
Nice.
It was nice to be fair. She cooked it herself.
Breakfast.
Yeah. And there was you come down and she was like, what would you like for breakfast? And I told her, she gave me a little menu.
Just stood waiting for you in the kitchen.
And she probably was, man.
You got any other quips?
Well, I was still talking about how weird the fucking B&B was to me.
Dragging on, man.
All right, well, it doesn't matter. All right, fine. I'll cancel that. It was a weird B&B. End of story. We said we were going to talk about. The other day we were like, we should do a segment where we like read comments.
All right. Okay.
Because you were saying that you saw a podcast where they did that. And I was like, well, we don't really get many YouTube comments because we're a cold pod. We're
just get slagged off
a
on
small
TikTok.
pod. So I was like, we could read some TikTok comments. But I will say, upon researching that, I realised that TikTok comments are dumb. Most of them.
No, they just think we're dumb.
There was nothing worth. TikTok comments tend to fall into several categories.
The TikTok comments because one of us is
one
always
of us getting roasted.
Yeah, one of us is getting smoked.
Yeah.
And like every now and again, like I'll look and I'll say, "Fucking hell, did you see the comments about you in that video?" And then sometimes I'm like, "Oh my god, mate, I have been done in."
Yeah.
I have been absolutely hotline and stinkered in the comments this week.
The only one that had like there's two that have a good comment section, really, like a nice comment section. One is, you remember that video I posted defending the two most recent Arctic Monkeys albums? It wasn't even a podcast clip. A lot of people in that were like, I expected to get shit for that, to be fair, because people don't like those albums. And a lot of people were like, oh no, like, you're right, these are so underrated. This one's my favourite, or whatever the fuck. And then also, you remember the one, it was a clip from the podcast, and you were talking about how to use mosh pits to get to the front of a gig.
Yeah, man. I see that every now and again.
A lot of people were positive about that. A lot of people was like, oh yeah, I always do this, and then they were sharing their stories. I did this at such and such a gig, or oh, this is really good. But then you still get like the one prick every like now and again that's like,
that kid's never been in a mosh pit in his life.
You want to try doing this in a real mosh pit?
yeah, smoked again. What do you think about okay, let's just quickly about like stuff at gigs or like festivals that you see that you enjoy. Do you know what I mean? So like the first thing is like inflatables, right?
Oh right, okay.
The ball.
Yeah, that's always good fun. Yeah.
Get the fucking ball up. Beer snakes.
What's a I don't know what that is.
The big cup, tower of cups.
Right, okay, yeah.
Everyone's trying to.
Yeah, well, you know what? When you said beer snake, that's what I thought of first, but then I thought a snake doesn't go that way.
Nobody does this though.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
And then what else is there? What else can you talk about?
I don't really know.
What else happens at festivals?
You know
Condoms.
You know what I don't like? Right, I don't like when people just
look at you straight on the negative. First of all,
well, it's not.
I know what you're gonna say now. Projectile piss.
well, either piss or the beer or anything. You know what I mean? Like,
shout out to my fucking mate Will Martin. Right, if I'm done with a drink or something, I'm like, yeah, I will. Because I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to be responsible for that sort of bad behaviour. I'm not that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Will, can I delegate to my guy, fucking Thanos right arm Will Martin, back of the vaccine, cup flying, Rose.
No,
he's got. That's a talent, mate.
I hate it, man. I hate it, and also like, beer at those things is expensive. Getting a drink is spending, and people.
But that's our choice, isn't it? Though.
Yeah, true.
It's my choice to waste.
Yeah, it's just a silly choice. We were at the Kook. We were watching the Kooks once a few years ago. What?
The Cooks.
No, the Kooks.
I know about the Cooks.
Oh, don't because Kate, right? My friend Kate Isles. Fuck you, Kate. She calls them the Cooks, and I go the Kooks, and she goes, it's the Cooks. And I was like, they're two different words. A kook, calling someone a kook with a K and a double O is a different thing to calling someone a chef. You know what I mean?
Oh,
to be
right.
Like the kooks is in like, oh, they're kooky, they have a kooky personality. It's a different word, right?
So I was thinking like C-U-C-K.
Oh, like a cuckold.
like that. Yeah, like the Cooks.
Right, yeah.
The Cooks, so naive. So naive.
Hey. Anyway, we went to see the Kooks, like, this was years ago, man, we were still teenagers, and literally, we were like right at the front, right, like maybe a second back from the barrier.
Right.
As soon as the gig started, you just liquid.
The wind up.
Just liquid came from like behind and twatted the girl next to us. And this is like the start of the song, the first song, right? And she just went, "Oh, it's warm."
Oh, yeah.
It's like, why? Someone threw. We were watching Miles Kane a few years ago, and
piss missile.
Someone threw like a fucking pie
at Miles Kane. Fucking
no, not at Miles
God.
Kane, but just like it's just like a fucking pie.
Oh,
like throwing snacks and chips and shit across the fucking venue.
Pie twatting you in the neck.
Exactly, I don't understand it. So I don't know what else people do at gigs that I like. I like seeing people on people's shoulders, right?
Yep.
Because like the lad, like the girl's always like living their like summer festival main character vibes, and the lad's just like.
No, the lad's like sweating,
dying,
knees shaking,
because he's just had to fucking like squat this girl up on top of him.
What else? So like, Chance, watching about Chance.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it when you're leaving a gig and people sing one of the
People
songs.
encore, yeah.
Like 75, 2020. What's the song you love?
If You're Too Shy.
If Too Shy hadn't come out yet, but they were playing it live, right?
Yeah.
And people were singing it as we were leaving because it was that catchy. You know what I mean?
I'd say Coldplay 2012. It's always Viva La Vida, you know what I mean? It's like the
I was just going to mention
song.
that because the people carry on singing it after they play it, don't they? You know what I mean? And I was thinking when we went to see Coldplay, it's crazy that like, because I was looking round, I looked around the whole stadium while everyone was doing the Viva La Vida chant. And I was like, most of these people are probably people that wouldn't, in their day-to-day lives, they wouldn't sing.
No.
They wouldn't sing in front of people,
I always
definitely. They
get
wouldn't
atted when I
dance,
sing at
you know what I
gigs.
mean?
Always get atted.
Oh, there's a dog. There's a dog.
Hello, doggy.
There's a dog in the...
Hey, dog.
Don't fuck up the... My bottle.
Want some Prime?
Any Prime?
Ice Pop.
No.
Anyway, like, Viva La Vida always is a good little... People on call go straight into, like, Charlie Brown or something.
Yeah. It brings people together, doesn't it? I think.
Oh, I was saying I get atted for singing at gigs. Yeah. So I have a high-pitched singing voice.
You get atted for singing at gigs because, like, Ellie's a knock.
Yeah. I always
birds
sing my little heart out and I get, oh, that was high, that.
And I can say that because she doesn't listen to this podcast. I know she doesn't. Surely
No,
not.
she doesn't know.
Exactly, there you go.
Hates it.
Because, you know why she doesn't listen to this podcast? Because she's a knock.
she, what came up on? I came up doing the, if you listen to this, and this. She went, what's this? I said, well, a clip there. Gone, mate.
Yeah. Well, when we were at the 75, Finsbury Park, and you got lost,
Yep.
she was fucking fuming. And my thought was...
Happens, mate.
My first thought was...
Do you know what? To be fair, though, sorry to interrupt, I have a background of fucking running off.
You? Right, okay.
I'm that guy. You know, when you go out on a night out, I will disappear. And I will not tell you where I'm going.
That makes sense, because that is annoying. But my first thought was, like, Jacko's lost by himself at this sea of people. He's a bit bevied. I hope he's okay. But I think Ellie's first thought was, how the fuck could he do this to me? Like, how could he leave me here with these fucking idiots?
But the second time, I got lost once. And then I
missed Be My Mistake because of that. Because I was trying to find you. Because I was like looking around, because I could see that she was getting distressed.
What's the word, man? Like, I central pointed myself between three axes.
Like circumnavigated.
Whatever the fuck, yeah.
I know what you mean. And
I was like, I can see that delay in front of me. I can see that food truck there. Yeah. And I can see this guy here. And I was like, as long as I keep in line with the axes, I get there. And the last time I went, when I got a shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, rolled on, mate. Straight back. No faff. But yeah.
Did the dog not the gain? Were they both on the same thing before?
No, but you're louder than you said you would be. And I'm quieter than I said I would be.
Oh, right, okay, fair one.
There you go. Bit of gain stage in there for you boys. Going into the -10, into the orange.
Bringing the SSL to the field.
But yeah, singing at gigs.
Yeah.
Do you do? Like, do you sing, like, do you go for it, or do you, like, stay a bit quieter and kind of trying to Beyonce the shit out of it?
And I think we mentioned this at the time, right? Because both Bleachers and the 75 are either, well, especially the 75's up there, vocal range-wise. Bleachers have got a lot of stuff that's in my range, but then he goes up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Turns up a notch.
Yeah. And I think if you're at an indoor gig, you can just fucking yell, right? And it's fine. But if you're at an outdoor gig, it's not as loud. You know what I mean? Like you could almost hear the crowd as much as you could hear the band.
Right, okay.
Because they're further away and it's not as loud. So I got more self-conscious. I felt, because I was like, I can hear myself here. You know what I mean?
Man, that's
so
sad.
I was trying to...
Being key.
I was trying to make an effort. What was the... I can't remember what song it was. You said you heard me like go up and then decide that it was too high and do it the
There was a song where you fucking bottled it, mate. Yeah, it was kind of going up. What was it? It was a Bleacher
I
song.
was gonna say it's probably Bleacher.
It was a Bleacher song. Was it?
Because I can do the high bits, but I have to like shout it. You know what I mean?
Was it Roller Coaster?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it was. I can do it, but I have to do it loud, and I didn't want to be that guy that was like trying to belt
All right.
when everyone could hear me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And especially for Bleachers, because all the like Bleachers people, the fans were at the front.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there was only a couple people around us that were, bopping to Bleachers.
Boogieing. Yeah. Nah, I don't give a fuck, man.
Oh, I know you don't.
I've paid my dues. Done my time. What's the next line?
I don't know what it's.
I paid my taxes, committed no crime.
Right. Paid my taxes.
I've made mistakes. Yeah.
I filled in the audit.
But yeah, like
Got a tax
I'm there.
return.
I'm got a right as everyone else, but I'm gonna have a good time. You know, some people have a good time by fucking sniffing ket off people's shoulders and, like you're saying, throwing piss at people. If I sing a little too loud, go fuck yourself.
That's it. I like that. That's a good attitude to have.
I am going to enjoy myself.
Yeah. Have you? Sorry, just to go back to because we were talking about TikTok shit. Have you ever commented on TikTok?
Have I ever commented on anyone's TikTok?
Yeah, because it just
No, I
makes
comment in some people's Twitch's live streams.
You watch Twitch?
I watch Angry Ginge on Twitch.
Don't know who that is. Yeah, well, anyway, but because I was thinking, like, I don't think I've ever commented on a TikTok, and it begs the question, like, what kind of people do comment on TikTok?
What do I comment on? I don't really comment on anything, I guess.
I'll occasionally comment on a YouTube video, but it's always positive. Yeah. If I think something negative, I don't comment it because I was like, it'd be rude to say it to that person.
One of my favourite things is when, like, the top comment is something you thought, like, I was watching, like, an Angry Ginge video the other day, and, like, whoever does the editing, I don't know if he does it himself or not, but, like, the music was just fucking so loud.
Yeah.
And, like, it just, like, the music wasn't even, like, on brand with, like, the scene of what was going on.
Yeah.
And you couldn't hear what he was saying, and, like, the top cut was, fucking hell, mate. Can you turn that music up a bit, please? Like, I like things like that, like, proper common knowledge.
Yeah.
People think the same as you. That gets me going. Do I comment on things? No, not really. I never put, like, good video.
No, well,
I say so true a lot. I don't put so true on stuff.
One of the only things I've commented on lately, and it was a positive comment, was, do you know who John Denton is?
No.
So he's a music YouTuber. He does like reviews and reactions and shit. But he started like years ago on this channel called Rock Reacts, where it's him and this other like metalhead guy. And they would listen to
Goose
like.
is gone, mate.
It's goosed. They would listen to like. Maybe someone robbed it. Foul play. Anyway, they would do like rock fans react to hip hop songs and shit like that.
Right.
And then he started his own channel and stuff. But he got big by getting into The Weeknd.
Yeah.
He discovered he really liked The Weeknd, so he was like reacting to all the Weeknd albums and all these songs and all the features and shit. And like he got really taken in by The Weeknd's fan base.
Right.
And the other month, The Weeknd like did a thing on stage that he does in his videos, right?
Right.
So John Denton tweeted him being like, I see you. Like, are you watching my videos?
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
So then The Weeknd was like DMing him, being like, oh, you should come to a show. So we went to a show.
Fuck off, did he?
Yeah. And then he went to a show and got like VIP and stuff like that.
VIP.
And then he put a video up the other week that he went to another show. The Weeknd was like, cool, I'm playing Paris. If you're going to be about. And he was like, of course I could be about. I'll get a flight to Paris. And he met The Weeknd.
Yeah.
Right. And they hung out in like the dressing room and stuff. And it was just mad, lad. Because I've been watching John Denton for fucking years.
Absolute mad, lad.
These Weeknd videos. And now he was like
there
with The Weeknd. You know what I mean?
Have you seen
So
The Weeknd?
I was commenting on that, being like, oh, John.
Holy fuck, yeah.
You go, man.
The Weeknd said he's not been The Weeknd anymore. Seen that?
No?
Like the persona is donified.
Is it?
I think so. I think that's what I read.
That can't be true.
Why can't it be true? Like 40.
Because isn't he like 2 albums into a trilogy? Thought he was doing another.
Oh, wait, is that what you're thinking like this is? Like,
Well, that's what I've heard
I don't know.
from the stands. I thought it was going to be another trilogy.
Trilogy? What?
After Hours, Dawn FM, and another one.
You are telling me Dawn FM sounds like a 3, though.
Well, I'm just telling you what I've heard, man. I don't know what the That's what's been speculated. But Gambino said that.
Yeah, where's he these days?
I mean, true. But like, he
Doing
went
Marvel movies.
He went through a phase. Donald Glover in Marvel movies.
Well, he's in Spider-Man, isn't he?
Oh yeah, true. Donald Glover said ages ago that he was going to retire the Gambino thing. Then he made another Gambino album, and then he's like, "Oh, after this album, I'll do it."
Yeah, it's like Coldplay. Every album's the last album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think
Don't
it's
think it
mad
ever
that,
will
like,
be. I mean, one of them will be, obviously. But
yeah, like I think it's mad that like a lot of the things like we've known for so long, like 10+ years, should be coming to an end. That's a weird thought.
like what?
Like that sort of like that them bands or people that you've known that have been around for a long time.
Yeah. It is weird that certain bands that have been around for a long time and that you've known for years are now in like it's like Arctic Monkeys are sort of in the heritage phase, almost like the phase where people will always go see them live, but not really give a fuck about the new albums.
Yeah. Weird, isn't it?
It is strange.
Find it daunting.
I find it more daunting that I turned 25 in 2 months.
Yeah.
What's it like?
Being 25.
Are you 26 now?
Yeah.
What's 25 like?
Good year, 25. Good year.
Better than 24?
Yeah. 23 is rough. 24 is okay. 25 is good.
I thought 24 was your existential year.
Nah, that was 23.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, because I've been saying that, because my 23 was amazing, like literally the best year of my life. And I've been saying, and 24 has been existential and like stressful.
Because I always remember it thinking like, you know, like LeBron and Jordan, 23, that sort of thing. Like my lucky number is probably 23. Something.
You thought it was going to be a great year?
Yeah,
Wasn't.
I was ready for it, man, yeah. And then on my birthday.
Like, oh, God.
Yeah,
My
literally.
life's not going anywhere.
I was like, fuck.
Yeah, I thought that was 24 for you because that happened to me at 24. And I was like, oh, I've been saying literally for
It's gonna
10
happen.
months.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fine. Like, this happened to Jack.
Yeah, so true. So 25 was a good year, man. 25 is good. I feel like 25 is where you, I don't know, maybe 24 is where you can't stop thinking about it. So I forget how old I am sometimes.
Yeah. I do. I tell you what, we were talking about this in the pub the other day.
In the pub?
Yeah.
Who's in the pub?
Me, Kate, and Emma.
What pub you in?
The Ringer Bells. Witness. That way. But I was saying that one thing I do like about getting older is that, like, obviously I'm 24. I'm still a dumbass. Like, the shit we don't know, right? We're still young comparative
Crossovers.
Yeah, exactly. We're still young comparative to, like, you know,
Old people.
being in your 50s and 60s or whatever. But I do feel like I get things a bit more now. I saw a thing that was like 25 is the age when your frontal
Lobe.
I don't know, whatever part of your brain like is finished fully developing. And I can feel myself approaching that, but I'm also like not where I want to be. So
Yeah, a lot of that just comes down to like social pressures and stuff, though.
yeah, but
Like-
but it's not even social pressures. It's just my own pressures. Of like, you know what I'm like. I'm a very ambitious guy.
Yeah.
And like, come next year, I'm gonna be the only one of my friends still living here. If
Yeah.
I still live here, I intend not to. I'm gonna move to Liverpool at least. But like, people just have this habit of like leaving, and that's good because I wouldn't want to stay here either. I don't want to stay here.
This is something I was talking about last week, actually. Just in general, like there's a guy at work from Stoke, and he fucking hates it. Right, fucking hates Stoke.
Right.
Like he's like, it's got its own. They've made their own drugs in Stoke.
Right.
Monkey dust, I think it was called.
Right.
And but he was like, every time he steps off the train, he's like, fuck's sake. You know, like when you watch like a American program and it's Mexico, it's just hazed.
Yeah.
It's like that. And I was like, that's so mad because like there's a lot of people that have like the proper like hometown comforts and like they proper love going back to the hometown.
Yeah.
So I think it's mad that there's such a big extreme and
Don't-
people have different perspectives on like
Yeah.
the same place.
Yeah. I was talking to my barber about it yesterday as well, and don't get me wrong, like
Halfway through fucking up the trim.
this.
Carry on. I apologise.
The I was talking to my barber about it, and you've probably thrown me with that just because I keep
Sorry.
thinking that like, when are you gonna shave your head?
Yeah, maybe next year. Maybe after Aaron's wedding.
Anyway, and I was like, I like Widnes geographically.
Right.
Like, I don't mind here as a place. It's the attitudes of the people that I take issue with, and this is like a problem with Britain as a whole. I think that I have an issue with, but I just don't feel like I culturally fit here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Nobody else here would do a podcast in a field, and they're not my kind of people.
Maybe that's referring back to the fucking bit of you that's still a dumbass.
What? Oh, what? I'm a dumbass for doing a podcast in a field.
If I wanting to do a podcast in the field.
No, man. I just want to
maybe.
do all these things that I want to do, and it's all like creative, cultural, artsy shit.
Yeah, should do it, man.
And I do it, but like I want to be able to do it as my
Paid income.
living. Yeah. But even like yesterday when I was talking to the barber, and I was like, oh, I'm probably going to move to Liverpool next year. She's like, oh yeah, as if it's just this big thing of like, what, you're gonna leave? What's wrong with here though? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that attitude is exactly what's wrong with here.
Some people can find everything they ever want in Widnes.
Well, literally, it depends who you are. You know, like I always use the example of my mum. She's always been quite happy to just like work a job, have a family, get a house. You know, like she's very like traditional,
old school.
Yeah, and she gets a happiness
Labour.
from that, and she gets a happiness from like what she does outside of work, and her job isn't her life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm not like that. I like whatever I'm spending my time doing has to be like something that I really enjoy. Otherwise, I start just like going off the rails a bit.
On the monkey dust.
On the monkey dust, yeah. I don't know how we got onto this, but yeah. So that's the crack. Oh yeah, turning 25. So I'm turning 25 in like 2 months. Abby always takes the piss though, so she's just turned 24.
Right.
And
What's she calling you, a cradle snatcher?
no, well she just likes that whenever she feels bad about turning the next age, it makes her feel better that in 2 months I'm going to be a year older. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then I made a joke.
What, like the same age as you?
Yeah. So like, she was for most
like,
of the
oh, I
year
can't believe
I
we're
was
both gonna
24
be-
and she was
yeah.
23. So she's just turned 24 and now we're the same age.
And that freaks you out.
Well, it just freaks her out that she's turning a year older. I think.
Right.
But it brings her comfort that she can take the piss out of me for being a year older next year.
Yeah.
Or like in 2 months. You know what I mean? And then I made a joke about her getting old. And she got really offended by it. And I was like, well,
How
like, none
dare
of
you.
that. I was like, you can't, we just don't talk about how old we are now. You know what I mean?
Right. So you've made a pact.
Yeah. Yeah, we've made a pact.
Never talk about your age again.
No.
Never play that Blink-182 song ever
I
again.
might make it so that if one of us breaks the pact, we have to do a forfeit, because I really wanted to watch the Harry Potter films and I need a way to... Like,
She's never seen them?
she's seen like 1.5 of them.
Sicko. I had
And
high
she-
regards of Abby before this.
And she doesn't think they're her thing. But she didn't like Star Wars either. She'd never seen Star Wars. And then I made a bet when we went bowling one time, and she lost, and we watched the first 6 Star Wars, and by the
Just a bit, and we watched the first 6 films.
well, by the end of it, she
in what
was,
order? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah. Chronological order. By the end of it, she was like, well, maybe we should watch the last 3. And I was like, no, even I don't want to watch the last 3,
I like
and
the
I
last
like
3.
Star Wars. You like the last 3.
Yeah, I like the last 3.
This is why
I think-
we were literally saying this the other day, that I don't trust your opinion on films.
I think number 8 is sketchy. I think number 9 is very, like, completing the arcs and, filling in the gaps, and it's very, like, viewer friendly, and, like, Star Wars fans will like it for, like, what it does. Do you know what I mean? Like, as a film, as a movie, like, yeah, it's not necessarily the best one there. Like, it's not like a great plot and stuff like that. Spoilers, Palpatine's just fucking chilling.
I say this though, I don't think Star Wars films are necessarily great individual movies. Like, I love the first 6, but I love the first 6 as an arc.
I can't say I'm a fan of the original 3. I've not really seen them that much because I just don't like. It's just too old for me to watch. And I know.
You hate old shit.
I just can't
Like, you
relate
hate
to it, man.
you hate shit that sounds old
Yeah,
or
it
that
does.
looks old. It's like
I like Motown.
it's like we've come. Do you?
Oh yeah,
There's a fucking fella who lives like 4 doors down from me,
yeah. Keith.
and he fucking loves the Motown.
Motown
Always
Keith.
blasting it in his fucking garden.
Yeah, man.
Maybe I don't want to listen to Northern Soul today. You know what I mean?
No one soul.
Northern Soul heads around here are proper annoying. Anyway,
But like,
we've gone full circle because you got dropped into the world in 1996,
6.
and and was like, okay, from 1996
This is
through
my
to
time.
now,
This is my time.
my life, and without pre that, I don't care.
Yeah, true. But right, in the original 3, right, Death Star, they ruined the plans. Is that the first one?
They ruined the plan. No,
Like they blow up the Death
They
Stars.
blow up the Death Star, yeah, in the
Right.
first one.
What the hell is the next one about? Oh, Luke does his training.
Well, but this is what I'm saying. So that next one, number 5,
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back, everyone says is the best one, but nothing really. There's no real plot.
Is it when he's in
other
Dagobah?
No, he goes to. I don't. Maybe it is. Yeah, no, it is. I
And
think.
like
I think he goes to Dagobah. Yeah.
What's it called? The X-wing is in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yoda lifts it up, all that mad shit.
Yeah.
And
That
then
might be that one.
And then
yeah.
the next one is Death Star 2.
The next one's Death Star 2. Return of the Death
It
Star.
just like that blows my, like, how can that be considered so good that like they just
No. But the main plot.
and the Wookiees in number 3,
The Wookiees are in the last one. That's
number 6. Yeah, fuck that film.
No. So number 5, right? The people say that's the best one, but
Okay.
the only thing of note that happens is that I am your father.
Is that well? Is that the
That's
episode?
that one, right?
Oh well, I get that why that's a
Then
big deal.
number 6,
Cultural significance.
I think is actually really good because that's where they have the final showdown. Luke fights Vader. Palpatine's giving it
When's
all
Hoth?
like. That's 5.
Yeah.
Hoth, more like Colt. One of my favourite Family Guy jokes. I was watching. Have you seen the Family Guy Star
No, I
Wars?
don't like Family Guy.
Oh lad, I was watching one of them yesterday. They're so funny. You should watch them just because it's Star Wars. But yeah, the first number 4 isn't really a great film standalone. The number 1 and 2 aren't really great films.
I can see why number
I like
4
number 2, but the dialogue's dodgy.
I can see why number 4 is good because I was like the whole idea of like a Death Star and like destroying planets.
Yeah, and it started the thing.
pretty
right?
cray, pretty zesty.
I think I'm gonna get sunburn out here.
Anyway, number 1, Phantom Menace, Darth Maul, pod racing. You know what I mean?
It's fine. Like I
Baby
loved it.
Anakin.
I loved it
No
as a
Daddy.
kid.
Good film. Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
It's better than number 1.
It starts getting a bit juicier, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But then Padme comes back for Anakin. That's weird.
Dialogue's weird.
Did I send you
Sand.
the thing about Tatooine having 2 moons?
I
Not saying that meme.
don't think so. Are we still recording?
Yeah, we're on bar 1913. We'll call it soon.
Okay.
I sent a good meme about where like the difference in age between Padme and Anakin doesn't matter because Tatooine has 2 moons, so or 2 suns. Sorry, so naturally Anakin is double the age. Did I send it to Alex? I send Alex all my Star Wars. Did I send you that one? Dodge Mall.
Yeah, Dodge Mall. Yeah.
I send him Star Wars memes all the time.
Number 3 is the best one though, right?
Yeah.
Without
No
a
reason
doubt.
real.
Yeah, that's a crazy film. But again, like, does it stand alone by itself? No, because it's like the third of a trilogy.
Number 3, I
Yeah.
think so. Execute Order 66.
Yeah, but you kind of have to.
You and my
see
brother,
the others.
Anakin.
Yeah, that's the memes out of that are insane. And,
That film on its own
yeah.
puts the prequels where they should be.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think as well, because I grew up watching the prequels, I like them more than a lot of people. Like,
Yeah.
people hated on them at the time, but now the generation that were kids when they came... Because they're filmed for kids, right, really, aren't they?
Right.
So, like, the generation that was kids is now adults.
Yes,
And we're bringing justice
We've
to
had this same argument about Marvel
justice
films.
to the prequels. It's different with the Marvel films. We
But
haven't
it's
got
not.
time. Let's not get into
it's
it.
not different because you just said that the people who watched them originally say theirs were better, where people coming afterwards to say that theirs are good too.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're kind of first wave Marvel.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but like, there's the question to be begged: is like, are the new Marvel films not good just because they're not the
Are
old
they
Marvel
not
films,
good?
or are they just like actually not good films? Anyway, have you got tactical tracks?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's end with Jack's tactical. For the first time in ages, Jack's tactical tracks.
Shaggers. So
Hit me.
today, I'm thinking. This is something I only thought about today because that's what I prefer doing rather than thinking about things in advance. You know, off the dome.
Right.
If there was a song or the first time that you recognised a song could make you like see something from someone else's perspective. Do you know what I mean?
No.
So like, you know how people like relate to music? Like, oh yeah, it reminds me of this in my life and this in my life and this in my life.
Right.
X, Y, Z.
Chopper.
Like, is there ever been a tune that, like, when you listen to it, like, it didn't remind you of, like, something, like, from your life, but you could relate to, like, someone else? Do you know what I mean?
Have you got an example?
Yeah, so my example is
Go
a
on,
song
you go first.
caught by Gabrielle Aplin, my guy, OG.
Right.
It's called Please Don't Say You Love Me. And, you know, as the title you'd expect,
Yeah.
it's about how she's, like, a bit scared of, like, being in love and stuff. And I was like, when I listened to it, I was like, oh, I could see that from, like, this person. Like, I would say that this person is going through this right now.
Like, meaning her?
As in, like, someone in my life.
Oh, right, okay. Right.
Because, like,
yeah.
I think, like, this song is her situation.
I don't think I have. I don't think
You never
I
had
ever,
that feeling?
I don't think I ever think about songs like that, you know. I think about it.
Because people, like, relate in their own way, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, I guess
To
guess
themselves.
there'll be songs that are like describe people, and I'm like, that's this person in my life.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
But I don't. Not with the feeling.
Really?
This is gonna be the first technical track where I don't have a song for it.
Well, I've not give you time to prep, to be fair. Because,
Yeah,
like,
true.
I don't mean, like, songs remind me of you. But I don't mean, like, I listen to
Cute.
that song and I'm
Cute.
like, oh, that's Liam.
Right.
Do you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
I'm like, oh, we just done something, or that reminds me of something that I was still involved in.
I guess, but it's more like vibe. So like a vibe of a song will make me think of a person. You know what I mean? So like there's a person that there's someone I used to know that the song Fire Escape by what's that band called? Half Moon Run. Fire Escape by Half Moon Run. I was like, oh, I can, and I knew they liked it as well. I was like, I can picture the vibe of this song is the same as the vibe of their mood. You know what I mean? I know them and I know this song and I get that. I get why it clicks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe that's sort of similar, yeah.
That's as close as I think you're gonna get.
I guess mine's just more literal.
Yeah, it is. But I don't really think about songs like that. I don't think. Maybe I'm self-centered.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Asterix. Definitely.
Well, there we go. That's been a podcast. Thank you for. It's a fucking heavy side. I've enjoyed this. You know, we should do more out and about episodes.
Comment whose chair you prefer if you can see them. If not, don't worry about it.
I feel like mine makes us look. I feel like they make us look the same height,
Finally.
even when we're not.
But your legs are like a metre outwards.
Yeah, true. Anyway, thank you for listening and watching this episode of Stereotypical. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel if you are not already. Alright, hitting the little button below. If you listen to the audio-only version, we apologise for any wind noise.
That's just Liam.
Yeah,
After,
it's just
after
me
his
just-
jalfrezi last night.
And I would recommend that you check out the video versions of the podcast because they're better.
Yeah.
If you are watching the video version, all the links to our
All the
social
links to the descriptions.
media will be in our social media. No, all the links to our social media will be in the description. And yeah,
Right?
that's the podcast. This has been Stereotypical at Spike Island. We're going to go have some lunch.
Yeah, I'm starving, to be fair.
What a lovely day. We'll catch you in the next one. Hit
Go.
with the peace, Jack.
I tell myself